In today's quick tip, I got a great blues intro for you. Randy Newman did this on his tune Guilty from the Good Old Boys album, so you can check it out there. So first of all, let's start by just taking a listen to it. Here we go. Great intro, classic Randy Newman. So we're going to break this down step by step. All right, so first of all, if you're interested in the sheet music or the practice actions, just go ahead and take a look at the video card that just popped up above, or go to jazzedge.academy/tips and you can get all of the sheet music and practice actions. All right, so let's dig in here and let's take a look at this lick. All right, so basically what's going on is we're going from the C chord down to a G chord or a G7 chord. It's a 1 chord to a 5 chord, right? So we're in the key of C, moving from C to a G7. We're in a 12/8 feel, which basically it's like 4, but it's divided into like a triplet feel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, ga, ga, ga. You've heard this feel, I'm sure, before, right? All right, so now we're starting with a C triad, right? But we're doubling that 5th, and we're doing it in second inversion. Now, I like using 1, 2, and 3, and 5. Some people might want to use 4 in there. It's completely up to you, whatever feels most comfortable. I'm going to do 3 in there, and we're just basically arpeggiating up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we go down to the G7. 1, 2, 3. We don't hit the 7th at all. We just play the triad, and then we come down this double stops. Okay? And you can see a little bit below there what those chords are. We're going to get into that in just a second. All right, so let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay. And here you can see that those double stops coming down from the E to the E flat to the D to the C. So I'm thinking about that top note. That top note is really important. That's what we're, this part of our voice leading, the way that the chords are moving from one chord to another. All right, so the right hand, let's just do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, then I'm just counting it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could just count it in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Here, I'm playing thumb and pinky. I use thumb and 4th finger on the E flat here. You can go back down to thumb and pinky when you hit the D, and then thumb and 4th finger when you hit that C. Okay. Now the left hand, you could play just roots if you want to. C down to G. Okay, that's fine. I'm filling in a little bit by adding in that 5th in there. Okay, so right here I'm adding in that 5th. Okay, and I go down to the G. And then this is the key, this walk up. Just walking right up that major scale. So putting it all together, it sounds like this. One thing we're going to have to talk about is the pedal, because that question comes up a lot. When do I use the pedal? I would put the pedal down, lift it, put it right back down, and then lift, down, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down. Okay? So when you get into this section right in here, you're going to lift the pedal and put it right back down on each of those chords. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so every time I hit those chords, I'm hitting the pedal down, lifting it up, and quickly putting it right back down when I hit the next chord. Okay, so let's put it together again. This time, though, we're going to utilize our metronome. We're going to put the metronome on 56. I'm just going to put this off to the side, though. Okay, here we go. Ready, go. Whoops, you know, one thing I wanted to say. If you want to, you could play just the right hand as well. Okay, so don't worry about doing hands together right now. This is going to be a little bit faster, so I'm going to actually bring this down to more 52 for our purposes right now. Now, when you're doing this, a good way to get started is to think of those triplets first. Triplet, here we go. Okay, all right, good. So you can go ahead and practice along with that. Remember, you could slow this video down as well. All right, so now let's talk about filling these chords out a little bit. And let's talk about the analysis of what these chords actually are. So here, this is pretty simple. It's a C chord and it's going to a G chord, right? But really, what we're really thinking about is what is going on right in here, okay? So that first chord, I'm thinking about that as like a C with G in the bass, okay? And then A diminished, B diminished, then to C. Okay? Now, you might say, oh, maybe that G is that's a G7, right? Well, I guess you can maybe say it's a G7, but I think it's more of like a C over E. I'm sorry, a C over G. The reason I say that is because the E is that top note. It's really kind of hinting more towards a C chord. Whoops. But that section right here in this box, this set of chords right here, I think this is like the key component where you could be on your 5 chord. Now, the key of this, though, is the way that you're doing the voice leading, especially that top note. So listen to what happens if I just do C over G, and then A diminished, B diminished, and then C. It doesn't have the same oomph to it. Why? Because the left hand is progressing upwards and the right hand is progressing downwards. So you're getting this counterpoint. Beautiful counterpoint there, right? That coming into that octave, coming into the root there of C. So if you're going to do any bigger chorus, you want to make sure that you're also getting in that voice leading coming down to that root, right? Make sure that top note is moving down while that bottom note moves up like that. Okay? Not to say you can't play around with it. You know, maybe do something like that. So here. So you can play around with that. All right, but anyway, let's go ahead and play this one. Again, same thing with the pedal. All right, we're going to end up doing that in our practice actions. So just take a look at the practice action, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do there. Also notice here, when I play this, I don't really hit that bottom note again. Let's actually zoom that out just a little bit so we get the lines there. I don't hit that C again. I just kind of hold that out over. See, I just play the fifth and root there. I keep the root down there. I don't play it again. Could I? Sure. Okay, all right, so fine. So now let's talk about an easier version of this. An easier way to play this is just leave out that second note from the top. You still get the same oomph of that counterpoint coming down. Oops, let me just fix this. You still get that same counterpoint, but it's just not, okay. Let me play it for you. Makes it just a tad bit easier. Okay, so let's just focus on that section. Let's do it all together. Now, typically, what he does in that tune is he goes right into the song, so the song starts right here on this C. But a lot of times you might want another transition chord in there because it's kind of quick to go into that. Let's say we're going to go into stormy weather. Right? So that'd be... Right? It'd be kind of hard to get into stormy weather because... there's that pickup note. Don't know why, right? So we need that pickup time. So what do we do if we need a little bit of extra time? Well, this is where we can fill some time by utilizing that 5-7 chord. It's a great little transition right here as well to go from the 1 chord to the 5 chord. So typically when you're playing your progressions, if you need to like fill some space, a lot of times whatever chord you're on, you can go to the 5 chord and then come back to the chord that you were on. Or in this case, playing kind of bluesy, right? We're starting on the 1 chord, go to the 5 chord, go back to the 1 chord. You can go back to the 5 chord, go back to the 1 chord. You can keep going back and forth between that. Right? I'm just going back and forth between C and G. Sometimes I might play just a G triad or play G7. Now this time, take a look at what's going on. Okay, so I play the C, and then I just hit those inner notes, and I'm going to play them a little bit softer, right? Make sure I'm not going to do this. Right, I don't want to hit those inner notes too heavy. So the emphasis is going to be on where these chords come in, and these are going to be a little bit softer, right? So that's... And then at this point, if I wanted to go into a tune and I had a pickup, I could get rid of that beat right there. So it'd be like this. Right? So I can go into stormy weather, or I could like maybe do Georgia. Let's see if that would work. Yeah, that would sound nice, right? So I could go into a lot of different tunes utilizing this technique. Of course, I could play it faster. I can even play it slower if I wanted to, right? So you could play around with the tempo as well. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little quick tip. So now, if you're interested in the practice actions, the sheet music, the resources, just go back to jazzedge.academy/tips, or like I said before, you could take a look at that video card that popped up earlier on in this video. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you in the next tip.